But still as a young Republican, I was wondering, are there any brothers? Of course, there was Thomas Sowell, Walter Williams, Robert Woodson, and their strong conservative black men and their brothers. But see, what I was looking for is someone I would run into Texas at the Bodacious barbecue joint, eating ribs. And just when I was thinking of that, it seemed that there was breaking news on the television. This was the early 1990s, during the first Bush administration. At that point, our guest speaker, Michael Williams, was the Assistant Secretary of Education for Civil Rights at the U.S. Department of Education. On this particular day, he made some type of ruling. The details don't really matter. It is what happened that matters. It seemed as if he alone shut down D.C. Every 30 minutes, I thought he was doing a press conference, and everybody was mad. Congress was mad. NAACP was mad. CNN was mad. ACLU was mad, etc., etc. I was astonished and impressed, especially when I found out he was from Texas. And it took President Bush to come out and get things settled by the end of the day. I was still trying to make out the bow tie thing. But I said, yeah, that's a brother. Apparently, he read the Constitution. He knew the law, he stood on principle, and he shut down D.C., and that is what I was looking for. Commissioner Michael Williams does not know this. But he's my role model. And his presence here tonight is an honor. Michael has set the standard. Humility, honor, sacrifice, service. Stay close to God. Work hard. Pay your dues. You take no easy routes, just the right road. He has served the Republican Party of Texas as General Counsel. Besides serving on our Railroad Commission, another notable position of trust includes a stint as chairman of the Texas Juvenile Probation Commission. As a son of educators and the husband of a mechanical engineer, Michael has established the Winnebaggers, a summer camp for 6 to 12 graders that inspires the next generation of scientists, technologists, engineers, and mathematicians. However, here's another important lesson I've learned from Michael. Then Governor George Bush appointed Michael to fill a vacant seat on the commission in 1998. Subsequently, he has won 3 statewide elections at that post. I have heard the commissioner speak many times, but never have I heard him mention that he was the first African American in Texas history to hold an executive statewide elected post. Politics is serious business. Politics involves God's people. Today, we see the results of the American idolization of our politics. We see the impact of the politics of personal adulation. As Michael, I am not in this race for the legislature to make history, but to build the future of our children and our grandchildren. My friends, 9 months ago, when I drove up here and spoke with you about my consideration to seek the Republican candidacy for House District 12, the D.C. agenda of big budgets, big government, big deficits was on the march. Some were saying, I know you were saying this, James, well, he's a good guy. But didn't he say he was a paratrooper? Paratrooper, because apparently he landed 1 too many times on his head. Because this is East Texas. Well, that is a fair point. But as coaches would say, the film doesn't lie. Well, in politics, the numbers don't lie. And again, I go back to my mentor, Michael Williams. Each time he ran for election, he won this particular House district. I think he won this particular House district. And I think I know how he did it. And it is his example that I am following. Michael Williams is a Christian, a conservative. He cares about people. He is pro-life. He's pro-traditional values. He's a fiscal conservative. He streamlines his budget at the Railroad Commission. Michael loves Texas. While Congress dithers with our energy security, the Commission has led the way on promoting domestic oil and gas production and the implementation of alternative energy. And he does this not with a top-down status model, but the American Free Enterprise model. He works hard. He has logged in countless hours for Republican candidates. Following Commissioner Williams' lead, I have been campaigning hard. I am a Christian East Texas Independent Conservative Republican that is pro-life, not to gin up votes or campaign contributions, because it's a way of life. Not one of my 80 students, even with their occasional failings, is a mere choice, but a divine blessing. I'm ready to go to Austin and work with Representative Christian to close the $18 billion revenue shortfall by streamlining government, using technologies to do more with better, but not with tax increases and new taxes. We do not have enough tax revenue because we do not have enough taxpayers. In the American system, the Texas way, the private sector creates jobs. That is, taxpayers. So therefore, we need to leave as much money as possible in the hands of small business people. And they will get us out of this economic slowdown. As a government teacher and an infantry officer, I respect our national and state institutions. The 10th Amendment states that all power is not delegated to the United States by the Constitution, nor prohibited by it to the states, or reserved to the states respectively, or the people. I'm ready to go to the legislature, work with strong conservatives like Wayne, and draw a line in the sand, and tell the federal government, not in Texas, do your job. Stop suing and start securing. Secure the border. Send border agents, not EPA agents. Balance your budget. Honor our troops in the field and enforce our Constitution. As I travel through East Texas, I ask some simple questions. Do you think it is right for the state of Texas to issue official state ID to individuals who have entered our country illegally? Do you think it is right that we should pass laws like voter ID that promote the integrity of our voting process? Do you think it is right that per student spending for education in Texas is $11,000, but only $5,000 is directed to the classroom? Do you think it is right that we have elected officials that violate their trust and disrespect our institutions by leaving the state when the situation is not going their way, while our best and brightest bravely face danger daily to preserve our freedom? My friends, based on the answers that I receive daily to those questions, and the example that Michael Williams has established by November, it will not be yes I can, or yes we can, but yes we did. Earlier this week, I went to our campaign post box, and I saw an envelope from a couple here in Lufkin. It was Mr. and Mrs. Davis. On the back flap, Commissioner, it said, God bless you. I opened the envelope, and I pulled out the check, and the amount was $3. The amount touched my heart, because when someone writes a check, you know that they took some time. And it reminded me, for some reason, pastors in here, it reminded me of the Holy Trinity. I saw the number on the check, and later that day I called. And the wife answered. I realized quickly that it was an elderly couple. And of course, probably on fixed income. Spoke with the wife. We talked about God's will. She stated that she would do more. But we talked about God's will, and we promised each other on our prayers. This is what it's about. Hard-working Texans, play by the rules, spend a lifetime building a state and a nation so that the grandchildren will have a better life. Commissioner, welcome to East Texas. Our region holds a magnitude of promise. You're in God's country. Tall pines that stretch to heaven, bountiful streams and rivers, the best soil and rich pastures, and an abundance of oil and gas. But most important, a virtuous, faithful, and enterprising people. Thank you for coming. And now, ladies and gentlemen, our commissioner, our friend, my mentor and brother, Michael Williams.